Donald Trump, of course, is still dealing. And I, I'm not going to vote against Donald Trump because he disparaged the soldiers. In many respects, I don't know. His disparagement was really questioning a dynamic that I've questioned. That, like, hey, the civilian leadership doesn't care, about the military personnel that it sends to war, because far too often we send those people to war for no reason. No reason that in any way benefits them or protects the country, but it protects the interests of very wealthy people. However, I am not like a very large swath of voters in this country for whom hearing that Donald Trump called the war dead suckers and losers. Apparently that cemetery that he refused to go to, I can't access the name of it now, but the Marines who were buried there, apparently that battle was, and there was something like 60% of the Marines in that battle were killed. Jesus. That battle has resonated for a century in the Marine Corps. And the fact that he didn't go to that cemetery, and for the reasons that people are now speculating, let me put it this way. The Trump people, the Trump campaign is very worried about the fallout of this. I don't know if they're accurate or not, but he is still on it. Here he is saying, actually, the soldiers, doesn't say, well, Marines, but he says the soldiers love him, but not the Pentagon officials. And I guess he's talking about maybe the generals, of course.
Yeah. Turn on him.
The generals, he appointed Mike Espy, who's the head of the Pentagon, who is, just to remind you, I don't know, is he still actually a armaments executive, or did he actually resign that position to take? Here's Donald Trump.
Shipped away our jobs, threw open our borders, and sent our youth to fight in these crazy, endless wars. And it's one of the reasons the military, I'm not saying the military is in love with me, the soldiers are. The top people in the Pentagon probably aren't, because they want to do nothing but fight wars so that all of those wonderful companies that make the bombs and make the planes and make everything else stay happy. But we're getting out of the endless wars. You know how we're doing. We defeated 100% of the ISIS caliphate, 100%. When I came in, it was a mess. It was all over. They have it in a certain color, all ISIS. A year later, I said, where is it? It's
beautiful
all gone,
map.
sir. Because of you.
Thank you for color coding it.
Because of my philosophy, but all gone. I said, that's good. Let's bring our soldiers back home. Some people don't like to come home. Some people like to continue to spend money.
What?
One cold-hearted globalist
Pause it for 1 second.
after another, and that's what it was.
Pause it for 1 second. One of the reasons why you want to bring the soldiers and the military home is because of the lifestyle. Maybe they might want to see their families or whatnot.
Right.
But it's because of the money. They don't like to save it. I don't know. It's good. Continue.
That's the clip.
Oh, that's it. All right. And so, here he is. He appointed Mark Esper to Secretary of Defense. He is literally a former, I think he's former, right? He was the executive, vice president. He was a lobbyist for the Aerospace Industries Association. He was president of the Global Intellectual Property Center. He was a lobbyist for Raytheon.
Right.
This is the guy he's talking about.
He's the most qualified. Yeah. The guy that he put in charge. Well, I think what's strange about that is, on one hand, he's talking about soldiers and how the soldiers love him, and then he's blaming soldiers for wanting to stay overseas. It's not the Pentagon officials who are going overseas to spend money.
That's my point. He's saying that the generals want to keep them there because they're in bed with the defense contractors.
Right.
And he literally appointed a defense contractor to head the Pentagon.
There's like an investigation right now. We covered this on the show a couple of weeks ago, where there's an investigation where a bunch of Kurdish oligarchs were getting paid off by Pentagon officials, and these guys took the money and bought real estate, like mansions in Beverly Hills. This is literally directly related to the people that he appointed, and it's being investigated.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing: is that, and this is what sort of strikes me on some level. It's sort of fascinating. Donald Trump can get out there and talk about how he's against the military-industrial complex, but when push comes to shove, of course he's not. I mean, of course he's not. Why can't we have at least, why can't we get Joe Biden to at least, pay lip service to be against the defense contractors?
So I got an email right before I came on. I'm sure you're getting these emails from random people who are fundraising and bundling money for Joe Biden, right? No, you don't get, I don't even know who this person is.
But I don't, maybe I do. I don't know.
I don't know who this guy is, but I'm on his email list, and there is a logo. This is how thought out it is. It's a very cheesy logo. It is called the Unofficial Volunteers Patriots Team 2020 G.I. Joe. And it's an entire email about how they're raising money. And it's like, I assume this might be like a veteran who's raising money from other vets. I'm not really sure how I got on this list, but there's a logo and branding around G.I. Joe Biden. So they're leaning in. Somehow they raised $400,000. There's a ton of fundraisers around this. It's cuckoo. I mean, it's totally cuckoo.
Well, again, I mean, I think, I understand why people, would be less than enthusiastic. I understand why people would be enthusiastic too. Joe Biden has got to win. If you don't like to get emails like that, but you want to make sure that he wins, like I say, there's a lot of great candidates out there. Or give money to the Wisconsin Democratic Party. Give money to the Michigan Democratic Party. Give money to the Pennsylvania Democratic Party. Or give money to candidates that, local candidates that you like. Because every time you do that, they're going to bring people to the polls.
Exactly.
And those people, more often than not, are going to end up voting for Joe Biden. Yeah. And so, there is the academic research shows there is a reverse coattail effect for this stuff. And so, that's where, that's the way that I deal with that type of thing.
And in a lot of these states, Pennsylvania, I think next week, early voting starts.
Yep. It started last week. I think it was in North Carolina, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
So, get on it, folks. If you can go vote, go vote.